everybody, and welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial we are continuing on with our base mesh modeling, and in this part we're going to be modeling the hand. It will be fairly low poly. I think time it gets done it's about 600 polys or so, which for the overall base mesh is okay, since we're going to attach this hand to our base mesh and then sculpt on it and then retopologize. Now I probably will not do the sculpting part of it because I don't feel that I'm ready to actually do any tutorials on sculpting. That's something I'm still studying and learning. But anyway, this method of hand modeling is kind of something that I've taken different techniques from different tutorials that I've watched to create this hand, and you probably should use a reference. I'm not going to use a reference in this tutorial, but it would definitely be a good idea. And the main reason I'm not using the reference image is to kind of keep my screen space as clear as I can, and for the recording, and to kind of go through here pretty quick. And the hand may not be perfect time we're done, but it will be able to be attached to our base mesh and be very usable and look alright. Okay, let's go ahead, and we've got the pardon me, the default cube here, and we're just going to start out and we're going to scale it in the Y direction. And just for a note, this is I'm using this is actually 2.66 version of Blender. It's the latest build, and which I think the 2.66 is actually supposed to be released here in the next few weeks. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back at it. Okay, we've scaled our cube in the Y direction. Let's go ahead and tab over into edit mode, and I'm going to loop cut and slide. You can find that here in your tools menu. I'm going to put a slice right there and another one right in the middle right there, and then we'll go ahead and create one here, and then we'll do one in the middle here. We'll use our middle mouse button to scroll up once, twice to create 3 loops through the center there. And then we're going to loop select the center loop there, and then we'll scale that just a little bit out here in the X direction to about there. And some of the things I will be doing will be redone. In other words, if I move this vert or that vert around or face around, there's a lot of tweaking going on in this technique. So just because I move it once doesn't mean we're not going to move it again. That's just the way you pretty much got to do it in organic modeling. So anyway, I've selected these 4 faces here. We're going to extrude in the Y direction. Wow. Okay, extrude out to about here somewhere, and then I'm going to grab my scale handle in the Y direction, and then I'm just gonna drag until it goes about the center of my widget there, and continue to just drag several times. And what that'll do is flatten out that face in the Y direction. Of course, we could have just went S for scale, Y for the Y axis, and then 0, and then enter to flatten that out, which sometimes is easier, but I've gotten in the habit of flattening things out that way. Okay, we've got that flattened out. Went to edge selection. We're just going to grab these edges here and kind of center them in the middle of those four faces. Doesn't have to be exactly right. We'll go ahead and go back to face selection, and we'll go ahead grab these four faces here. W on the keyboard to bring up our specials menu, and then our loop tools and circle. I'm going to go ahead and scale that down a bit. You can also access the loop tools from the tools menu here down at the bottom. You have to make sure that you have those enabled, and then you can use them from here. Also, if you have the dynamic spacebar menu up, you can access them through here. Let's see, where are they at? Where are they at? Loop tools. Well, oh yeah, from oh, I thought they were here somewhere. Guess not. Maybe it's just not in this particular build. So anyway, we've got that there, and let's go ahead and go to our left view, and we're going to extrude this out again. You have, even though you do not have a reference open, or I do not have a reference open at this point, I often look down at my own hand, so don't forget you've got your own built-in reference right there. So take a look at your hand as we're going along, and everybody's hand is different. So I'm going to scale this down a bit. Now I need to quit talking so much and just model. So extrude, scale up a little bit, extrude, scale up a little bit more, and extrude again, and we'll bring it to here, and then extrude, and then scale down again. Okay, that's the basis for our thumb. Of course, we may rescale some of those loops. Okay, with these front faces selected, let's drag those out a little bit more, and then I'm going to go right up here and I'm going to smooth vertex, and maybe a couple of times, kind of round out the end of that thumb. Okay, now let's go here and go to edge selection. By the way, I am using the Pie Menus add-on. Really hoping that makes it into the trunk. It's still currently being developed, and something that I have. I hope it never goes away, because I absolutely love the Pie Menus. If it does go away, hopefully it's replaced by something similar or just as good. Also, shout out to Liquid Ape and Uncle Entity, who are the guys, I believe, who started building the Pie Menus. Let's go to face selection. Let's go ahead and drag these faces out just a little bit here. Okay, because this area here is where our thumbnail is going to be. So let's grab these faces here, and then I'm going to tap the I on my keyboard and inset those faces just a little bit. Okay, after we drag it in a little bit, then you will notice on our tools menu here we have this little inset faces panel come up, and we have select outer here in this bottom part here's checked, so I'm going to uncheck that, and that will select those inside faces there. So I'm going to grab this, just drag it back a little bit, and then I'm going to switch to the rotation tool, and I'm going to rotate a little bit this direction. I'll tell you what, maybe we need to scale that in just a little bit. And then let's extrude out just a little bit, and then drag it forward in the Y direction. Let's go ahead, grab these faces because our thumbnail there is kind of going through the front of our faces there. Okay, there's our thumbnail. Now let's go ahead and create another slice right through here, another edge loop. Okay, and then I'm going to S for scale and scale that up just a little bit, just to kind of give the end of our thumb a little roundness. Okay, let's switch to the vert mode, and we're going, let's see, let's grab this edge here and maybe slide it back. You can use edge slide right here in the under the deform in our mesh tools, and we'll just slide that back so those three edges are just a little bit closer together. And grab this vertice here. Let's hide our manipulator here. Grab this vertice, and then I'm going to go Shift V, and what that's going to do is activate our vert slide, and what it'll allow me to do is slide this vertice on a desired edge, and when I activate it, then I will have options to choose an edge. That edge will be highlighted, which will be the edge that we'll slide it on. So I'm going to go Shift V, and as you can see that you have a small highlight there. We want to slide that along this edge here just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to Shift V, slide this back a little bit, and turn our manipulator back on, grab this point and drag it out just a little bit. And what we're doing is kind of giving this knuckle here a little bit of form. Grab these two vertices here and just kind of scale them in the Z direction a little bit. Okay, and I think we're just going to leave our thumb. Maybe we'll scale this down maybe just a little bit more. Don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it because I want to try to get through this whole video. But anyway, that's our basic thumb. You can go ahead and continue to tweak on it if you so desire. Go ahead and put another loop cut in here, W, and circle. Now let's go ahead and grab some of these vertices back here and kind of define our shape a little bit more. So like I say, just because we're moving them now does not mean we're not going to move them again, which we absolutely will, because we're going to be rotating this thumb around. And the main reason I built it here on the laying across the y-axis is so it's easier to work on. Okay, let's go ahead and choose this vertice right here, and then I'm going to bring up my dynamic space bar menu and go to snap cursor menu and then cursor to selected. You can also do that through the Control S for the hotkey for cursor snapping. So we've snapped our cursor to this vertice, and then I'm going to grab my dynamic spacebar again and snap cursor menu, and then I'm going to scroll down here to set cursor as pivot point. Okay, now let's right down here on our toolbar header, we're going to turn on the limits selection, and we're just going to grab these faces, turn that limit selection back on. And I'm going to use my control key and the plus key on my numpad to a couple of times to grow that selection. And then let's go to the rotate widget and let's rotate this up, rotate it out a little bit, and then G for grab. We're just moving this kind of into where it needs to be. You can see what I'm doing here. Hopefully you have an idea. Okay, that's probably going to be good enough. So now let's go in here, like I said, continuously tweaking verts. We'll need to reset our reverter pivot point. Don't forget to do that. Okay, bring this one up a little bit. This one up. This one up. Okay, that's good enough for now. Let's grab this vertice, G on the keyboard to grab it, pull it out, pull that one out a little bit. Okay, that's all we're going to do on this thumb for now. Let's go ahead. If you want to continue to tweak it now, be my guest. But I want to go ahead and move on to the fingers. Okay. Let's go to edge selection, and I'm going to grab these edges here, and then I'm going to tap my X key, and I'm going to dissolve those. Now we still have some vertices left behind here, and that's okay, that's intentional. Let's go to faces. We're going to grab these 4 faces here where our fingers are. Go over here to our mesh tools and extrude individual, and extrude those up just a bit. And then we're going down here to our header here and our tool options here, and we're going to change the pivot point to individual origins, so that when we scale these faces, they scale each one individually. So we're just going to S for scale. I'll scale those in a little bit. Now we can change back to median point. Okay, now let's go in here and go back to vertice selection. I'm going to grab these vertices that we left behind earlier, and I'm going to select some of them, and I'm just going to hit J on my keyboard to join those, and that restores our edge across here. Okay, now also we could use the knife tool, which also is accessed here under our mesh tools. You'll find, where's the knife? The knife right here under the add. Okay, but also on the keyboard you can access the knife tool with K, and you automatically snap to vertices there, and then draw the other end here, and then I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard. We'll use the knife tool one time again. Draw that edge back there. Hit enter on the keyboard to validate it. Okay, now we're going to go to edge selection, and I want to select these edges across the top here, just those, and then under the add menu on our mesh tools, subdivide, and that's going to create another loop across the top here. And what we've done, we've created a N-gon right here on this face, but don't worry about that right now. We will go in and fix that. So this time, instead of just doing the subdivide, I'm going to use my knife tool. Hold Control to snap to the center of that edge. Control and click. Control click. And Control click. And then enter on the keyboard. Let's do that again. Okay, Control to snap to center, click, and bring it around the back here. Okay, instead of hitting enter on my keyboard, I'm going to hit E, while my knife tool is activated, and that will allow us to start a new edge. Control click, Control click, Control click, enter on the keyboard, and there we go. That's we've got our edges that we need. Here in a little bit we'll go in and we'll fix those N-gons. So I'm selecting these edges on the top of that finger there, and I'm just gonna switch to the scale tool, and I'm gonna grab the X axis, scale axis handle here, and I'm just gonna drag it till it gets to kind of where this little circle is on our widget, and I'm going to do that several times to flatten out that edge. Okay, let's do the same here. Okay, and we'll go ahead and grab the other two and do it. Like I say, you can use the keyboard shortcuts. S, X, 0 on the numpad, and then enter to flatten that out also. But pardon me, this is the way I've been doing it for a long time, and I just have a habit of doing it this way. Wow. Pardon me for the cough. I tried to hold it back, tried to mute my audio here. Couldn't get it done. Apologize for that. Okay, so now let's go to face selection and grab these faces here. Let's turn our manipulator off for a minute there. Then I'm going to go to W to bring up specials menu, and then circle. Bring my manipulator back up. Scale this down till it's pretty much looks like a circle. And drag it over here, and I will leave it like that for now, and then we'll scale accordingly. I'm going to go ahead and do all these faces like that right quick. Okay, that gives us a basis for our fingers. Of course, they're not perfect, and that's fine, because we will go back in here and do some tweaking. Okay, let's go to our top view here, and I think possibly may want to rotate those a little bit to kind of... No, I guess that was fine. Scratch that, forget it. Okay, let's scale this down. Sorry if I went a little crazy there for a second. Let's hide our manipulator. S to scale. Grab this to the edge here, because the pinky finger is kind of a little bit separated. Just remember, you have a reference on the end of your arm. It's called a hand. So just take a look at it. Alright, well, that's good enough, because we need to move along. Let's go ahead and fix our n-gons right quick. Okay, n-gons. What are n-gons? N-gons are faces, usually a quad face, as 1, 2, 3, 4. Quad is made up of 4 vertices. In this case, we have a 5th, so that's referred to as an n-gon. Don't ask me what n-gon stands for, because I can't tell you. So n-gons are bad. It's okay to have a triangle somewhere in your mesh, if strategically placed, but n-gons are a no-no. The only time that I can think of that you might want to use an n-gon would be if you're just doing creating a still image, but most game engines and animations, you probably shouldn't use an n-gon. I'm sure somebody knows how to get by with it, but just don't even think about using n-gons. At least that's my advice. Okay, let's I'm gonna grab my knife tool here, and I'm gonna grab this point and just create an edge across here, and let's do that again, and here, here, and here, and let's go around to the back of the hand and do the same thing. I'm going to tap E on my keyboard to continue drawing edges. Enter. Okay, now we've got some triangles here, and we're going to fix those too. We could leave them, but we're going to fix them here shortly. Okay, we'll do these two sides a little different. Okay, I'm going to go to edge selection. I'm going to grab this edge, and this edge, and then we could subdivide it, and then grab these two verts, J on the keyboard, to join those two edges. J to join. Okay, this time we're going to go ahead and use our knife tool to draw these out. Control to snap to the center of the edge, and then connect it up there. Hit enter. Okay, that's good enough right there. Let's go ahead, and we've got these triangles here, so let's go ahead and fix those. This edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. Subdivide. Grab verts, grab this, bring it over, grab this, bring it over. Now those are all quads. Spin around here and let's do the same thing over here. We'll just go ahead and use our knife tool. E to start another edge. Control to snap to center. Enter on the keyboard. G to grab, just bring it in a little bit. So we'll just leave them like that for now, but now our hand is all quads. No end gods, no triangles. Go to the back of the hand. Grab this vertice right. I'll tell you what, let's grab this vertice, and this vertice. And we're going to say use X on the keyboard, and we're going to delete those verts. Leaves us a hole right there. Okay, going to grab this vertice on our index finger, or not our index finger, but the middle finger there. And with that vertice selected, I'm going to control click on faces down here on my header, the toolbar. And when I control click on that, that automatically converts that to a face selection. I just learned that by accident the other day. Okay, let's extrude. Scale up to kind of where our first knuckle's going to be. And let's go ahead and shift click on our scale manipulator tool here so that we can scale and translate at the same time. I think I'm going to scale that in a little bit, scale it in the Y direction and pull it back. So we're kind of make this finger tapered. Okay, extrude once, twice. We'll need 3 edges here to create our first knuckle. And then extrude on up. Just kind of maybe take a look at your finger there. Scale, bring it back, maybe scale a little bit in the Y-axis, bring it back. You can see we're starting to get a little bit of a taper there. Okay, let's go ahead and create that knuckle area. Extrude once, extrude again, and then extrude on up, and then one more time. Okay, ooh, oops. So let's go ahead and drag this up a bit, and then smooth vertex. Remember, that's under your deform, under your mesh tools. Give it a couple of clicks there. Pull those faces back a little bit. Now we'll do this just like we did the thumb. Let's see, that those one faces definitely need to come up some more, don't they? Yeah, that'll work for now. Like I say, this is not going to be perfect. You can go ahead and tweak to your heart's content on your model, but in this tutorial I'm not going to do a whole lot of tweaking. Just remember, you can always look down at your hand and use it for reference. Okay, so now I'm gonna, since we've already kind of went through this part with the thumb, I'm just gonna continue to work here and kind of speed up. Shift V. Pull these out and giving the impression of our knuckle area. Just adding a little definition so we attach it to our base mesh and take it over for sculpting. Then we can kind of have a little definition in some areas to kind of see where things are being placed on our mesh. Okay, let's go ahead and leave it that way, and then let's switch here to the faces and go ahead and inset those to begin to create our fingernail. Pull it in a little bit. Let's see, rotate it around this direction, extrude, translate, pull it forward a bit. There, that'll work. Loop cut right here, scale it, just kind of round out that finger a bit. You may want to take a little more time on on your fingers. Maybe add some more edge loops to kind of give your finger a little bit more shape there. Okay, let's go ahead and turn limit selection off. Down here on our toolbar, it's a little quad looking icon. Looks like a quad face with 4 points on it. Grab these faces and we'll control plus key on our numpad. Select there. Okay, let's see here. Let's do that again. Turn that off. Okay. Now I'm going to stay in back view here, and I'm just going to do copy this finger, and the shortcut key is Shift D. Okay. Oh, we copied those edges there, and I do not want those edges, those bottom edges, so let's do this again. Okay, let's try to tap Z on the keyboard and go to wireframe, and then select these verts here, and back to solid, Control plus. Okay, yeah, I don't think, let's try it and see what happens. Okay, we didn't get them that time, so I canceled that. Now Shift D, and I'm going to begin to move that over, and then I'm going to click my middle mouse button when I start moving that, and that'll constrain it to that direction. We need to scale that down ever so slightly. Begin to move it into place, and that looks about, maybe scale it just a little bit more down, and that looks about right. Okay, now what we need to do is grab these verts and bring them up here so we can connect this finger. So I'm going to go down here on my toolbar and bring up snap menu, and I want to snap the vertex. I'm not going to actually turn the snap on down here. What I'll do is use my control key on the keyboard to activate the snap. So I'm going to grab this. Let's turn our manipulator off. Grab this vert, and I'm going to press G on the keyboard, and then I'm going to hold my cursor over this vert that we want to snap it to while holding control, and that will snap to that vert. Grab, start moving it around, and then control with the cursor over that vertice. G, Control, Snap, G, Control, Snap, G, Control, Snap. Okay, let's go ahead and get the rest of those vertices. Got one more here. Let's see. Oops. Got a Control Z. Got the wrong one there. Okay. I'll have to go back and do those again. You have to watch. Just kind of rotate your view around. Make sure you've got them to snap to the right vertex. Snap together at the right place. Okay, that looks good. Let's grab this vertex and just kind of move it over a little bit. Okay, there you are. Okay, after I snap vertices together, what I like to do, now those vertices that we just snapped together are not actually welded together. So in order to weld those together, I usually just hit A on the keyboard to select all, and then under my mesh tools here, go down to remove doubles. And those vertices that share the same 3D space, the exact same coordinates, will merge together. So remove doubles, and you'll have a little pop up here, and it's good to do that once in a while. I don't know why we had 105 vertices that just removed, but we did for some reason. That's a great tool to go ahead and use once in a while. Okay, so now that we've done those two fingers, I'm going to go ahead and just speed up here and get these other two fingers done. Okay, this one we're going to rotate it a little bit. So take a look at your own finger there, and you'll notice that it's kind of like that. If it's not, you're weird. Just kidding. Not really. Okay. Maybe I should have some music playing while I'm not talking and doing this stuff. Okay. All our fingers are attached. And so now what I like to do, let's see, before we go over into sculpt mode, let's do this. Grab those three Verts there, control click on our face selection icon, converts that to face selection, extrude this down, and turn our manipulator back on. Let's go ahead and okay, extrude kind of the wrist area down. Let's go ahead and maybe extrude it one more time. Okay. Now you can do this however you want to do it. Push and pull your verts around, but I like to go ahead and tab over into sculpt mode and begin to use my smooth tool and my grab tool. Turn the strength down on that just pretty low. Just go in here and start smoothing that out. That's a great thing about Blender. His ability to just hop over into sculpt mode and just tweak to your heart's content. Okay, use my grab tool. Start to kind of build this thumb area a little bit better. Oh, that thumb is out of proportion, isn't it? That thing is huge. So, anyway, you know how we built it, so you can go in there and scale yours down. But I think, well, I guess we'll go back into edit mode here in a little bit and go ahead and scale it down some. Since this is the hand that we'll be attaching to our base mesh. I remember, since we were in the process of creating a base mesh, that this doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to sculpt on our base mesh and then retopo. Probably won't do that part of the tutorial, but I think I've said that already, haven't I? So anyway, all I did there was use my smooth brush and my grab tool. So let's head back over into edit mode and go ahead and fix that gargantuan thumb. See, if I'd have been using reference, That might not have happened. Okay. That's a little bit better. Okay. That is good enough there. Let's go ahead and tweak some verts here. Oh, had a little issue there, and like I say, this is a development build that I'm using. So kind of go ahead and grab these and kind of give them a little shape there, kind of I don't know what to say about it, but I think you know what I mean. I am using my G key on my toolbar on my keyboard to move these verts around. Let's turn off that manipulator. So that's what our hand looks like. We need to do one thing here, and one more thing. We're going to leave our hand like this for our base mesh. You may want to go in and continue to tweak on this, and maybe you want to do your fix your end guns a little different with different edge loops and so on and so forth. So do it however you want. This is just, there's no written in stone method for how you get things done, as long as you follow a few rules about no end guns and edge flow. Let's delete these bottom faces here. Now what we need to do is on the wrist of our base mesh where our hand is going to attach is 8 vertices. So I'm grabbing this bottom loop here where it's going to attach to our arm, and I notice that it has 12 vertices. And one of the reasons that I built this hand this way is so that it could attach to our arm. So in order to get this edge loop here down to 8 vertices so it'll attach to our arm, I'm just going to grab these 3 vertices. Well, let's see here. 1, 2, 3 vertices. These right here. And under my mesh tools, under remove, I'm going to merge at center. Okay, and we've got 2 triangles. We're going to fix that. Okay, merge these ones on the palm area here together also. Okay, we have a couple of options here. We have a triangle here and a triangle here. That's duplicated on that side also. One thing I could do is I could go to face selection and I could just grab these 2 faces here and hit F on my keyboard, and that creates a diamond shaped quad. You see it is a quad even though it's diamond shaped, because there's the polygon face and it has 4 vertices around it. Okay, Control Z that. Or we could create an edge loop. Well, let's go ahead and let me show you what I'm talking about. click it, control click the middle there, using our knife tool around here. And that gave us a quad also. So I think what we're going to do is, I think we're going to do it that way. Do it however you want, but I, for some reason, like this way better. Okay. Well, now we have our hand ready to go to attach to our base mesh, and it should work nicely. So we will pick up again in the next video and attach our hand to their base mesh.